What good is melody? What good is music if it ain't possessing something sweet, 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 sweet? It ain't the melody, it ain't the music if it ain't possessing something sweet, 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 sweet.
Jesus, the beat is cutting pieces like pizzas. When he grabbed the mic, these nuts said, please squeeze us. He told him, hold up, after the punchline. Single file rappers with dull rhymes and ugly shines. In the ring with the frizzy bearded grizzly bear. He win the thing with an exquisite rare dizzy stare. Give me here, I'll show you how to do it right. When he put the mask on, he screwed tight and stupid like. True story, you could ask
Uncle No! I didn't know that was you!
Everybody!
He said, what good is melody? What good is music if it ain't possessing something sweet, 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 sweet? It ain't the melody, it ain't the music if it ain't possessing something sweet, 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 sweet.
Dreams, the heat beam is like a laser level. Aim it till it's straightened out, do your best to graze a devil. Bass and treble peaking, make sure they even. Be faking more and he break a jaw and teething. Leaving, creeping, no time for weeping.
Alright, everybody, Matt here from Around Square. I can't believe it's April already, and the end of April got a product launch coming out. Here I am with our drop preview. This year is kind of crazy. We've just got stuff like in production, finishing production, all over the place, and one product launch after the next. It's just been like a crazy few months, and it's full steam ahead. Anyways, we got lots of stuff. I'm playing here with some 14 millimeter Ultem Melos begleri, and these are super light. I've done them up in short form. These beads turned out perfectly. We haven't done the 14 millimeter Melo size yet in Ultem. So I think we previously only did it in titanium, and we might have done it in ebony as well. But anyways, it's a great, like, just a substantial feeling bead, nice size, and I'm really excited to finally be able to do a set that is like straight Ultem, no metal mixed in with it, just for people who are kind of the purist and they want that uniform look. It's a really light set and probably wouldn't play that well on 550, but the bore on the Melos is narrow anyways. I really like it on the Kevlar cord. I've strung some up long form, but I actually just really like this as a short form begleri set. It's just like very casual. They're not the most nimble beads. It's like quite elongated when you have the 3-stack here, but it's just a really fun, lightweight set. It plays in a really like bouncy way, which is kind of perfect for a short game, and just really fun. I hope you guys are going to like it. If you're interested in exploring short game and want kind of a dedicated set, this is a nice one. I don't have one of those little begleri hooks, but it looks pretty slick, just like that, hanging from a belt loop as well. So anyways, we got these guys in this setup, but of course we also have done a bunch of ultras and so on. We had some special requests for the Melos. I wasn't originally going to do these as Mala sets. We had some special requests. I wasn't originally going to do these as Mala, but I thought, why not? Let's give it a shot. And I really like how they turned out. So we got the machine finished and the polished, two pretty different looks from one beautiful material. This has the adjustable triple overhand knot, so you can like make it a little bit bigger if you want to put it on your wrist. For my own personal sets, I tend to use snake knots here, but the triple overhand looks really clean and it gives you that adjustability. Okay, so what we've done is we've done like a 11.8 millimeter titanium bead here as the boss, and then we've got the 10 millimeter and 12 millimeter Melos in the matching finish, and then we've got the 14 big boys all around the loop. Okay. One thing I want to point out with this, you can see this is all the same material, all the same batch of bars, all the same producer, but you can see probably that the smaller beads have a lighter color. it's just it's due to the tone of the material. When it gets thicker, it's kind of blocking more of the light and gives like more kind of color saturation to the material. So if you have just like a thin, you're going to see this when I show the pens later. When you have a thinner piece of material, it just has a lighter color, and the thicker material shows the deeper amber color. So it's a pretty neat effect, and of course everything is really nicely matching. All right, so we got these guys in the Mala sets, and we also have the short form MK Ultras. Okay, listen to that clack on the Ultem. It's a hard material, so it has that really crisp, higher pitched sound, and it's just really resonates with that 14 millimeter bead. I only have a set here in the machine finish, but we also are doing these in the polished finish as well. Okay, then moving along, we got the long form sets. So again, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a long form set in these big beads, but after seeing how the beads moved and sounded on the short form sets, I wanted to try it, and I really liked how they turned out. So I said, okay, let's do it. So the long form sets, they're going to be like pretty chunky on the wrist to wear them, right? It's big beads, and a double loop is going to be pretty big. But we've done these with the titanium tassel, and that's for counterweight effect. If you're wanting to sling them from the boss bead, it just gives you that a little bit of extra counterweight to hold things in place. But of course, you can separate them into packets for slinging as well. Okay. So the bigger sets are definitely more cumbersome to sling around for doing tricks, but they definitely make up for it when it comes to the raindrops. I just love that sound. All right, so again, we got these guys in the machine finished and the polished finish. Okay, beautiful big beads. All right, yeah. So what else we got here then? Well, let's stick with the Ultem for now. So we had talked about doing the pens in Ultem for a while, and finally decided to give it a try, and it turned out wonderfully. This is the fountain pen, the King of Flow, with the Bach 250 nib. Don't have an ink cartridge loaded in this one yet, but you can see here, you can see how light in color the material is when it's got thin walls like this. So the fountain pen is very thinly machined. That's just to keep the size down, but since the internals have to be a little bit bigger. Compare that to the Chaos pen, thicker walls, it's just got a deeper color to it. Okay, in this one here, you can see with the transparency of the material, you can actually see the writing on the Fisher Space Pen's cartridge on the inside. It's a pretty slick effect. But they turned out great. They're so light in the pocket, you barely even feel like you're carrying anything. But then you reach for it and you've got it, right? One thing I do want to let you all know about with regards to the fountain pens, I have swapped out my cartridges in almost all of my fountain pens for one of the Kaweco mini piston fill nibs. And so I'm like constantly, refilling changing the inks, refilling things. And with the Ultem material, I don't know if you'll see it in the video here, but if you do have like ink kind of building up on the nib, or like little drops of ink, if you're not super careful with cleaning things after you fill and so on, you will see that ink through the transparent cap, right? And same thing if you're not careful when you're putting the cartridge in and it spills, you're going to need to like get used to taking these apart and cleaning them up once in a while. I haven't had like any staining or anything. I think the material is really good to like withstand colors and so on. If you wash it out, the ink won't stain the material. But yeah, just something to be aware of. I really like the visuals with seeing the internals and the threading and everything. But just if you're one of the types of people that like wants everything to look super, super clean and fresh all the time, this may not be the product for you, but the Ultem is amazing. And I haven't bothered to clean this. I wanted to show everybody what it looked like with a little bit of the ink on the nib through the cap there. All right. And of course, these guys do have clips available. I think they're $5 or something if you want a snap-on clip, and the clips are like good and solid. All right. Okay, what else? What do we got? Planks. Let's talk planks. So the titanium planks sold out long ago, and it took us a while to get them back in. We actually triggered a restock right away as soon as we saw how they were doing in the launch, but it's just taken that long to get the production through. This time though, when we did the production, we did a bit bigger batch and we split it. So we had some with a sandblasted finish. So the sandblasted finish is a new one that's going to be launching this month. We're also restocking the polished finish. I talk about this pretty much every time I talk about product options, but the sandblasted is just always like a bit of a softer feel. It's like kind of velvety. It doesn't feel rough. It's just kind of a softer feel. And if your hands are at all humid or if there's high humidity or whatever, it tends to slide through the fingers and be a little bit less grippy, which depending on what you're doing, you may like that or not like that. I have gotten really used to the grippiness of the original plank, but I'm really liking how just soft this is. I haven't played with this one a ton because I was originally not going to claim one for myself, but then I of course had to. So anyways, just a couple of options there. Again, with the finishes, the sandblasted tends to darken a little bit more over time, tends to kind of hide scratches a little bit more than the polished finish will as well, but all of them are going to show their age over time, and it's just like, you get little love marks on everything that you use, right? So that's the Thai plank. We are also attempting at the last minute to get some of these guys in. These are delrin. Okay. Now we had originally planned to launch these this month, but we got the batch in and I wasn't happy with the finishing on them. They were machine finished and there were just like kind of scratch marks and some little zigzag patterns that were just a bit irregular. It didn't look and feel great, like not quite up to stuff. So we sent them back and asked the manufacturer to do like a very light polish on them to kind of smooth things over and get rid of those marks. And they've come back really clean. This is just obviously a black delrin one. Here's a white. No rough marks or anything. And here's green. So these are not actually in our hands yet. These are just the post-production samples that I've approved, but they are beautiful, lightweight, and really smooth. Like I'm actually just like loving the texture and feel of delrin. It's kind of rekindled my love for delrin that I've had in the past. I kind of, it's been off and on, hot and cold with me over the years, as I do have an affinity for natural materials, but I have to hand it to delrin. It's just a really nice polymer material. It's got that warm, soft touch, and it almost feels like very slightly rubberized, but it's not. It's like entirely rigid. It's just got that softness to it, which feels really good. So some of you who were around when the Knucklebones originally launched kind of know that it's just like it's got so many virtues as a playable, durable, comfortable material, like easy to wash and care for and stuff. And it's just, it's just a awesome material. So this is, I think this one is a keeper for me, and hope you guys like them. They're going to be available in 6 colors, black, white, blue, green, yellow, and red. All right. So staying with the delrin, time to talk about these guys here. I'm not sure if this is the one that I'm most excited for this month, but I've been playing these samples since I first got them, and it was actually since before the paddle ends launched a couple months back. And I actually just really love these new slim paddle ends. So I don't know what I'm going to call them yet. I might refine that name a little bit, but they're just I don't know. There's a certain kind of slick elegance to having the shape going like thin all the way down, same width, and then you can see how the thickness changes. So you have that extra length and that extra weight, which helps to kind of keep things in the hand. So if you're doing rolls and that sort of thing, you can see how the benefit of that extra length, just how it kind of helps to keep everything in place as you're playing. Right? So And yeah, it just kind of makes things snappy. Because these are long, we're not doing the 18+2 configuration that we did with the original chetki. We're doing a 16+2. And these are, I don't have a set handy of my original design, but 16+2 plays roughly the same. It's got like roughly the same length as the 18+2 did in the previous design. Okay. So we're going to have these available as full sets finally. So if you've been waiting for a restock on the black or white delrin, you'll get that option. Here's my white set. I had to claim a second because I loved it so much. I've got a couple of Ultem accents on here. The Ultem is still in the works, but we're working on new suppliers and that sort of thing. So it's not ready for launch yet. All right. But yeah, we're going to have these as full sets for those of you who don't have delrin chetki yet. And we're also going to have them as accent packs with 2 of the new ends plus 2 of the stripe pieces to kind of mix things up however you like. All right. So I think that's enough of that for the delrin chetki. What else we got? Change materials. Let's go over to these guys here. So I've been teasing some new materials made from sheep horn and ox horn. And the first of what we have available is the sheep horn commons. We actually have some other beads available, but I'm holding back because I don't want to launch everything all at the same time. We've got a lot of ultras launching this month, but I'm so excited to get the sheep horn out there to have some of you guys try it. So I decided, okay, I'll slip these guys in, even though we've got all of the Ultem stuff happening. So sheep horn is, of course, one of the traditional materials used in komboloi and wuri beads. It is plenty durable. Remember that, like, kind of the evolutionary origins of these things is for like knocking heads together, right? So they are plenty durable, but also being a natural material, it does take a little bit more care and they can break. So I have been playing with a set of chetki that I made from the sheep horn beads and kind of, stress testing them. And I've found they're really durable. I haven't had any chips or cracks in them. But the supplier was pretty cautious in warning us that yes, watch out, the material can age, it can crack. If you want to keep the material strong and pretty beautiful, give it some oil is what they recommended. They said you can just rub a little bit of olive oil into the beads once in a while if you see them drying out. So it's a little bit like caring for wood. You don't want to be washing these or dousing them in hand sanitizer. Just be really careful with them. It's, treat them the same way that you would your wooden products or your jade Bodhi seeds, for example, and just like be careful, be gentle, be caring with them, and they should last you like indefinitely. One thing about the sheep horn, you can see it's got this like very light color, but there is some natural color variation. You'll see small black portions on some of the beads. I don't know if this one, so some of them have just like a small bit of black. Some of them have like a full stripe. There are some beads that are almost entirely black. This is just part of the beauty of the material, is those natural color variations. We may, if we can get them in time, also launch these in oxhorn this month. The oxhorn beads I actually rejected when we got the first batch because they were a bit, they weren't quite the right shape, and I didn't feel good calling them commons, and I didn't want an additional bead shape. So we sent them back to the supplier, asked them to be reworked, and they've done that. I have approved the samples already, and they're shipping to us, but we just don't have them in hand. The oxhorn, very similar in every respect. I think it might be slightly heavier, but they're all quite lightweight. And the biggest difference is that the oxhorn tends to have a lot more color variation. So you get some lighter beads, but you also get a lot darker, like brown, gray, and black in the beads. Okay. So that's the biggest difference. And yeah, I think people are going to really like these. I haven't yet claimed a set of these for myself. I will definitely be doing that. I just haven't decided which one because I don't want to be greedy and claim a set of absolutely everything for myself. So I need to kind of wait and decide, do I want to do the commons or do I want to do the Melos, short form, long form, so on. But yeah, lovely crisp clack on these guys as well. And just like a little bit more, I'd say like warmth to it than compared to the Ultem. but it feels really nice in the hand as well. Okay, moving on. We've been waiting for these for a long time and finally able to launch them. Super excited. These are our new rings. Okay, and these are half the size of the Banja thumb rings. So imagine the Banja thumb rings, they're like double the width. These have everything else in common with the Banjas. So they're the same thickness, exactly the same rounding, even the same word marking on the insides. The only difference is they're half the width, and we've made them in standard ring sizes. So I think we have size 5 up to 13, if I'm not mistaken. So these rings are designed to give you all of the kind of manipulation options that you have with the Banjas, as well as with the standard normal rings. Okay, and how that's accomplished is the straight pipe cut. So you have a flat edge on the outside. So anything where you're kind of rolling the ring together, rolling the ring along in one plane is not going to be kind of affected by a rounded edge that kind of makes it go off kilter. They're straight on the inside as well. It's not comfort fit. But the biggest difference I've noticed compared to the Banjas is with the Banjas, they're very awkward to do the Griffin roll with because they're just big, right? But this one is small enough that it Griffin rolls just really easily and comfortably, and the rounding on the edges makes that all the more so. Okay, just like kind of walks between the fingers really nicely. I don't know if you are already following our friend Brandon Dexterous Labs on Instagram. He's kind of the master of manipulation, and he and I talked extensively about the design of these rings, and he had a lot of input into it, just to kind of make sure that it was kind of up to snuff for all of the different types of rings manipulations that he does. He's the guy, you might have seen his videos, I've reposted a few times, where he'll throw it up and he'll catch it on different fingers. He can also do this one where it's like rolling along on the back of the knuckles, which I can't do. But yeah, and then I can't wait to see other folks get their hands on them, like people who do the crazy dead eye tricks, walking them between the knuckles and stuff, which I also can't do very well with the dead eye, but I can almost feel the potential to do that smoothly with these rings as well. Just not quite there yet. So I got to keep grinding. So even your pal Matt still has tricks to learn, eh? All right, that's probably enough about the rings for now. I'm super hyped on them, and I think you guys are going to love them. If you're not like a ring person currently, keep an open mind. They're launching at a really good price, especially the stainless steel one. If you're just kind of ring curious, check them out on launch day, and you might find yourself a new thing that you want to get into. All right. Let's see what else we got. These guys, beautiful. I mean, it's been probably 6 years or so that I first posted a photo of at the time it was a Mokutai modular knucklebone knob. It's something that people have been asking for ages and ages. And I just at the time never really thought that we had the community, customer base, the number of knucklebone lovers that would really make a modular component like this viable. I think that's changed in the last few years, and we have enough people out there that are hungry for these that hopefully we'll be able to sell through our inventory. They're really expensive to produce, almost like in the range of getting a whole knucklebone done for a pair of these, but they turned out absolutely beautifully. These are Zircutai, and I don't know how well the colors are going to show up in the video. It tends to never be something that does the colors justice, but the finishing on them is really perfect, beautiful. The shape is super nice, smooth contours, and nice, a nice transition between the concave and convex. I've paired this with a slim grip. They also work really nice with any of our newer grips. The Ultem grip also looks beautiful with them. If you have a modular setup from like our older inventory, like the Shinobi or the Sunset or like any of those old old grips in the middle, you might find yourself with a bit of a hot spot in the transition. Basically, we've changed our specs for the manufacturing of these very slightly over the years, and the newer ones all have a very nice transition, but the older ones, you know, that grip might kind of bump up ever so slightly. I don't personally, I don't feel it when I play them, but if you're just like using it as a worry stone and running your thumb over it, you'll feel it. And in fact, I even feel it on this, just because you're going from one material to another and there is a little bit of a seam there. So just be aware that that's the case. When we ship these, we're going to ship them with one of the new slim grips, just for free, just so that anybody who's buying them has a full setup that they can enjoy it with. So that'll just be a little extra that's thrown into the package for you guys. But yeah, it's beautiful setup, and you know, I'm really, really happy with how these turned out. Especially the finish and the colors are just awesome. It's exactly what I was hoping for. All right. So while we're on the topic of exotics, I've got a couple of other things. We're restocking these guys here. These are the 11.8 millimeter MK Ultras in Mokutai this time. Okay. We're also doing the Mokutai Micro Boss begleri, restocking the Zerk Low Boss 15 millimeter Boss begleri, and the Zerk Mala beads. These guys are just so stunning, and the weight of the Zerk is amazing. They feel so good in the hand. So yeah, this is like super premium feeling set. Every time I pick up the exotics, I want to grab one for myself, but I can't do it, guys. I think that's roughly it. Oh, one last thing. We're also launching this cotton cord. So I think this is the first time that we're selling the cotton cord. This is the same stuff that we used on the mini Dubulo in ebony, and some of the smaller super lightweight begleri that we've sold in recent months. So just another option. It's a very nice cotton cord. It's got a core to it. This is 2.5 millimeters, which is, I'd say, like pretty comparable to our 2 millimeter Kevlar. So it is a little bit thicker than that, but it compacts a bit more. And you know, we tried some 2 millimeter stuff and it felt kind of scrawny to me. So I went with the 2.5 instead. Later on, probably next month, we're going to offer some 3.5 millimeter cotton cord as well. So for those of you who like the cotton cord, we got you covered. This is all really nice stuff. Okay, so I think that's it, guys. It for now anyways. I probably forgot a couple things, but you know, whatever, that's life. I think everybody's going to be really happy with the products this month. My own favorites, I've been wearing the rings a lot, carrying one in my pocket. I've got one on my finger. They're comfortable on the hand. I should mention. Whoops, this is mine here. They're comfortable on the hand, even though they're like quite chunky. You can see it like still fits between the knuckles nicely, and you don't feel it that much. So it's like, you know, it's a good size. These ones here are a little bit bigger. Try one on my other hand. Yeah. Okay. So you know, whatever finger you want to use them on, they actually would work fine as a thumb ring as well. I haven't tried that personally because I do still really like the banjas. It's just that chunkiness. But on the other fingers, these guys are great. So that's a favorite for me. Delrin planks, big favorite. I've been carrying one like daily. I just like it, especially around the house when I'm like not out and about. It's like kind of a nice inside version that's not too loud if you drop it. And the chetki, I've been like non-stop on the chetki. I just have been loving chetki recently, and this is definitely my favorite setup. All right, so I guess that's all. I'll stop talking. Get out of here. All right, see you guys.
Microphone chatter batter swing, that's the thing he's known better for. Worse than the casualties in the metaphor wars. Forget your applause, bet pause. Answer me these questions 3 to get across.